What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to some NHL 20. We got some Hockey Ultimate Team gameplay. Actually, it's more importantly, it's on, or is it, what's it called? Hut Rivals. There we go. We got some Hut Rivals gameplay for you. And this is a good one. A little bit of a weird one, but a good one at the end of the day. Stay tuned for the ending, obviously. It's a good one. But today, I wanted to talk about some more real-life stuff that's happened. You know, a couple videos back, we did the Taylor Hall trade recap video, and obviously, I really enjoy making videos like that. So we got another one, right? This year, so far in the NHL, there has been 6 head coaches fired. Now, not just 6 head coaches fired, but some of them have some different circumstances, which I want to go over. So we're going to start with the Toronto Maple Leafs, being the old coach Mike Babcock, obviously legendary coach. He was 173, 133, and 45 in 5 seasons with the Leafs. Now this season so far, 9, 10, and 4. So mid the table, right? Not doing too great, but still not awful, right? They're not like 4, 15, and 2 or something. Like, they're not awful. Like, they're, you know, not good, but not awful. Then their new coach, who they basically called up from the AHL, Sheldon Keefe, has actually done really well. 15, 5, and 1 in the last 21 games since he was hired by the Maple Leafs. So what needed to happen with them? They seem to be a decent team. They got a bunch of new upgrades to their team. Just maybe they just needed a spark to kind of get them going. On to our next one is one that kind of made me make this video because it was such a perfect example of what I wanted to talk about, and that's the New Jersey Devils. Now, the New Jersey Devils have kind of been the same boring team for the last like 5+ years, where they've had basically the same players, and they just haven't done anything, right? Their draft picks haven't really done too much recently, and overall, like, they just aren't a good team. So what happened? They fired their head coach, right? They needed that big spark. They're in the middle of a rebuild, so might as well fire your coach, get rid of him, and figure it out, and hopefully come back next year, and hopefully you can figure it out then. But John Hines was that head coach. He was 150, 159, and 45 in 5 seasons with the Devils. 9, 13, and 4 this season. And again, I mean, I think they've either made the playoffs once or haven't made the playoffs at all. And just overall, haven't been good. So, like, honestly, I think this is way overdue, personally. But they finally made the decision. 5 years. That it should have been the case right now. New coach, though, Elaine Nasruddin, I believe it's called. 6, 7, and 2. Nothing really to really shake your hand about. And then also, we're kind of a team that people thought kind of highly of, especially with the additions of first overall pick Jack Hughes. They got PK Subban in a trade that actually was really smart. They get Wayne Simmons. Right, they have some of the other players that have stepped up a lot. They still have Taylor Hall. What could be wrong there? But then just nothing works, right? Nothing was behind Taylor Hall. But anyway, they made the decision to fire John Hines. And then it gets right into the next team, the Nashville Predators. Old coach Peter Laviolette actually had a pretty decent record of 248, 143, and 60 in 6 seasons with the Predators so far this year. Actually doing decently, 19, 15, and 7. Then he was replaced by new coach John Hines, which from the New Jersey Devils. I mean, Nashville has been a playoff team. They've been a good team. They made it to the Stanley Cup final not too long ago. They've been in the playoffs. So I don't really understand why they want to make this change, especially when they're doing well, maybe after the season. But they decided to do it kind of mid-season here in January. But then John Hines comes in, and his first game is Tuesday versus Boston. I don't know when that article is written, but I think he has his first game upcoming here because I don't think there's a week in between. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. But that moves us on to our next team, the San Jose Sharks. Again, Peter DeBauer. 198, 129, and 34 in 5 seasons. These guys aren't doing terrible, but they're not doing great either. They're 15, 16, and 2 so far this year. Their new coach, Bob Bauer, 4, 5, and 2 so far since he's been hired. I mean, this is a team that is a playoff team. I mean, with the likes of Erik Karlsson, Brent Burns, Vlasic, Evander Kane, like Logan Couture, like all those guys, Timo Meier, all of those guys should be doing really well. Tomas Hertl, whatever the heck you want to call him. Like, they're a good team. Just maybe, again, needed a spark. But we'll have to figure out how they do going on for the rest of the year. The next two teams, a little bit of a different situation here, because actually both these two coaches were doing really well. First of all, one would be the Calgary Flames with Bill Peters, 62, 37, and 11 in 2 seasons. This season so far, 12, 12, and 4. This one came after allegations and rumors and everything that there was accusations of racial and physical abuse over the last 2 decades. He then resigned right after Thanksgiving, and just kind of everything just kind of went downhill. And it kind of sucks in the world of sports that as soon as you're alleged against something, that it kind of just ruins your career, because no team, you know, wants to be involved with that and have all those distractions. And, you know, did this guy do that? Did he do this? But you know, he ended up resigning. He gets replaced by assistant coach Jeff Ward, who actually turned the team around a little bit. 10, 5, and 1 since he's taken over the reins in Calgary. But now over on to the Dallas Stars. Similar situation, but not exactly. Jim Montgomery, 60, 43, and 10 in 2 seasons with them. Again, doing well, 17, 11, and 3. But again, some off-ice behavior kind of led to this. In December, he was dismissed for unprofessional conduct. I don't remember seeing what exactly he did, but he since has, I should say, entered a rehab facility of whatever case. I believe it had something to do with alcohol, but a little bit of a different situation. But both were dismissed or resigned for off-ice stuff. And, you know, both teams were, or I should say both teams, but at least Dallas was in a good spot looking towards the playoffs, and Calgary just wasn't doing too well. But the main reason I wanted to make this video was some teams are kind of waiting too long to change. Now, I know, you know, 4 of these teams are the only ones that really apply, because Calgary and Dallas, a little bit of a different story. But those 4 teams, sometimes you just need that spark. And sometimes a trade, like a 1-for-1 trade, or you get one guy, or you don't sign a guy, or whatever, isn't always going to work. Sometimes you need, okay, the head coach is one of those big pillars of a team. Sometimes you got to fire that big pillar. You got to knock that pillar down and get a new pillar there. Because sometimes that pillar is old and weakened and is just not holding up the team and holding up their weight anymore. And like I said, with New Jersey's case, you know, 5 seasons of basically complete failure, you know, kind of would have triggered to me probably after the 3rd year. Like, after the 3rd year, if you don't see improvement after a new coach, you guys start thinking, what else can we do to this team in order to make it work? And, you know, in some of these cases, it took them too long to realize that. Some cases, you know, it's just kind of a recent thing, but definitely in New Jersey's case, took a little bit too long for them. But I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up, because this guy ends up rage quitting here at the end of this one. But if you guys did enjoy, hit that like button down below. Comment what you guys think down in that comments section below. What you guys take on this whole thing is. Like I said, down in the comment section, let me know your thoughts. But if you didn't already, hit that subscribe button. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.